Welcome everyone to episode 82 of 55 and 5, the only web series on YouTube talking about the 1955 Parkhurst Wrestling trading card set, going one at a time with 5-minute history lessons. I'm Ian Riccaboni, Cary Silkin, our producer AJ from Bisson Creative and Web Design. Cary, we had a legend, the Babe Ruth of Japanese wrestling yesterday.
And it could have, glad you researched, it could have easily been overlooked, and we would have made light of this. Oh, look, they put sumo wrestling.
Right.
But little did we know it was a legendary Ricky Dozen.
Amazing.
And very cool.
Yeah, and today we have a wrestler. The fun fact and the hint I gave on episode 81 was that he bookended his career, at least his documented career. This might not be fully accurate, but the matches we have results for were matches against Luthez. So that is your hint for this.
I'm in trouble.
Well, it does appear that this gentleman has ladies' underwear, and I want you to pay close attention to the
underwear.
To the bottom left of the card. Cary, you could take a look before we start the timer. See those brown, what appears to be brown ladies' underwear, unless I'm seeing things.
Well,
and we're going to give you the name. It is Strangler Bob Wagner.
No relation to George Wagner.
No relation to George Wagner, although they had some brief crossover time in Portland, but that's...
Well, I'm going to jump in the safety net. It's really interesting, as you'll see when you see the close-up, just the way they perform it. I mean, portray this. If this guy could have had a career as a heavy in the movies, as like, in the gang of like the Untouchables,
yeah,
the bad guys, what a classic look. So. And as you've mentioned, he bookended his career with Luthez, so that must be quite a career.
Yeah, Bob Wagner, not a guy that I knew before this, but has some interesting claims to fame. He's the master of the stranglehold, and he would often lose bouts because he wouldn't release.
I was going to say, was that legal?
Yeah, he would often lose bouts by disqualification because he would slap on the stranglehold. So that's the first fun thing I found. He wrestled from 35 to 56. His first match that we have results for is against Luthez. The last match we have results for is against Luthez. He did all kinds of fun stuff. He did a backbreaker the way we think of it. Now, back in the 50s, the Argentinian backbreaker would be the move commonly referred to as the backbreaker. So when you had him, essentially waist on shoulder.
It was Bruno's. He would lift the guy up and just...
Yeah, and just kind of, submit him there. But he was one of the early adapters of the knee to the back version of the backbreaker. So innovator there. He's from Portland, made his name with Al Haft in Ohio and Maple Leaf Wrestling, but really made his big mark in Kansas City, which is maybe why we haven't heard of him, because Kansas City isn't one that's talked about much online
No,
anymore.
the only talk about Kansas City is that you didn't get paid well.
Right, and his big claim to fame, he had a big series of matches against Orville Brown. Do you know who Orville Brown is?
The NWA champion.
Yeah, the first NWA National Wrestling Alliance champion. So in 48, he won the title before a car accident slowed him down. So he had a big series of drawing matches. He was a big-time villain. Would break every rule, would often get disqualified with the stranglehold. Had some TV exposure in 1950. He was out in LA. So there's a couple TV matches that might exist. They aired live. They didn't really tape them, but those might exist somewhere. And like we said, some interesting career symmetry, starting out with Luthez and kind of wrapping things up.
So when in 35, was Luthez a big name by then?
Not yet. He would have been very young also. Okay. Yeah.
Well, long career, interesting guy. I'm sure some of our Canadian historians, or some of our non-Canadian historians, whether it's Mike Mooneyham who chimes in, or Roy Lucier, or Pat Lepard and Greg Oliver, and who am I leaving out? Tim Hornbecker and Les Thatcher has chimed in. It's nice to have these guys that really know their stuff.
Absolutely. And so this was a fun name because clearly a big career, headlined in a lot of different places, and kind of a name that time's passed over and time's forgotten. So,
well, he's not forgotten here.
yeah, and a great suit. And I'm still wondering if this is ladies under. I don't know what this is. Is that
It's
lady?
very odd.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's he's dressed very well. It looks like he might be part of a jewel heist. There looks like there's jewels in the background as well. Maybe this is not ladies' underwear. Maybe it's a pull string of a nice bag that he's putting the jewels in.
It's a good question, though.
It's a great photo. Some of these guys don't have great photos, and Bob Wagner got hooked up on this one. So that was Bob Wagner, episode 82. Cary, I don't know if you realize this, we are over 2/3 of the way into this. We're approaching 75% of this Odyssey complete.
Well, I'm looking forward to 83. Maybe you're going to give me a little person.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, we shall see as the clock rolls on. I want to thank AJ, our producer, Cary, for participating. I want to thank you. Hope you join us tomorrow if you're watching this in real time, 8 p.m. Eastern, each and every weekdays when these premiere. For Cary, AJ, I'm Ian. Happy wrestling, everybody.